Maharishi Suta continued, O best of ascetics, I will now tell you the story further. In the olden days, there lived a wise king by the name Ulkamukha. He had mastered all his senses and always spoke the truth. He used to go to the temple every day and give gifts to the Brahmins. His lotus-faced wife was a pure and pious woman. One day, the royal couple was performing the Sathyanarayana Pooja at the banks of the river Bhadrashila. At that time, a merchant called Sadhu sailed by. Seeing the king perform some puja, Sadhu stopped his boat, got off, and addressed the king humbly. O king, would you kindly tell me what you are doing with such devotion and concentration? The king replied, O Sadhu, I have no children. In order that I may be blessed with children, I am worshipping the Almighty Lord Satyanarayana. On hearing this, Sadhu spoke humbly. O king, please tell me how to perform the puja. I would like to observe the vrata as I too have no children. The king told him all the details. Sadhu returned home and with great joy told his wife that they should perform Sathyanarayana Puja, which will fulfill their desire to have children. He then resolved to perform the puja after the child was born. Then, by the divine grace, Sadhu's wife Leelavati conceived, and in due course a beautiful daughter was born to them. They named the child Kalavati. One day, Leelavati reminded her husband of his promise to perform puja. Sadhu told his wife that he would do the puja at the time of his daughter's wedding and got busy with his work. In the meantime, Kalavati grew up and blossomed into a lovely girl. Sadhu sent out messengers to find a suitable bridegroom for his daughter. One of his messengers found a good-natured and handsome boy in a Vaishya family from Kanchana-nagar. Sadhu found the boy to be a suitable match for Kalavati and celebrated his daughter's wedding with great pomp and show. But Sadhu completely forgot about the Satyanarayana Puja and thus angered Lord Satyanarayana. Then, one day, Sadhu went on a business trip with his son-in-law. He stopped to trade at Ratnapura that was ruled by King Chandraketu. Lord Satyanarayana placed a curse on Sadhu. One day, in Ratnapura, some thieves robbed the king's treasury and were running away. The king's soldiers followed them in hot pursuit. The frightened thieves threw the things they had robbed near Sadhu and his son-in-law, who were sleeping under a tree, and escaped. Finding the king's treasure near Sadhu and his son-in-law, the king's soldiers arrested them and brought them before the king. The king ordered them to be chained and thrown into prison. Because of Lord Narayana's Maya, nobody even listened to what Sadhu had to say in his defense. King Chandraketu also confiscated all their merchandise. Lord Narayana's curse did not spare Sadhu's wife. Some robbers broke into her house and Leelavati lost everything. One day, Kalavati was very hungry and ran out of the house. She wandered here and there and stopped at a house where Satyanarayana Puja was being performed. She stayed at the place until the puja was over, ate the prasad that was offered. When she reached home, it was late night. Leelavati asked her where she had been. Kalavati told her mother that she was listening to Sathyanarayana Katha in somebody's house. Leelavati at once remembered her husband's promise to perform the puja and resolved to observe Satyanarayana Vrata herself. She collected all her friends and relatives and prayed to Lord Satyanarayana to forgive their sins. Lord Satyanarayana was pleased with Leelavati's prayers. He appeared before King Chandraketu in his dream and told him to release the two merchants from prison as they were not the real thieves. If the king failed to do so, Lord Narayana warned that his entire kingdom, wealth, and children would all suffer. Next morning, the king told his counselors about his dream and ordered Sadhu and his son-in-law to be released. The latter were frightened and stood before the king with bowed heads. The king talked to them gently and said, "You too have suffered a great deal because of your fate, but there is nothing to fear." The king returned their merchandise, gave them new clothes and lots of gifts and bade them goodbye. End of chapter 3. Om Shri Satyanarayana Namaha.